Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Lipchick, and we are going to talk today about transportation and its import to the whole area of Homeland Security. How measures to protect our transportation systems must be taken. Okay. Our nation's transportation systems are a terrorist target. We rely on them for our daily transportation. Our economy depends on them. And they impact the ability of the military to mobilize its defenses of our nation. A lot of military traffic, convoys, and so forth do plan to use civilian roads. Aviation. The aviation sector consists of two major parts. One consists of airports, aircraft, and other associated assets. The second part consists of aviation command, control, and information systems. Aviation presents a special challenge to Homeland Security because it is widely distributed with relatively open access. And it presents an attractive terrorist target. Challenges to protecting aviation include the volume of passengers and cargo, detection equipment, which is limited in amount, capabilities, and ease of use. Much of the cargo that is sent is time sensitive and has to be transported quickly. Security has to be balanced with convenience and time factors. Most airports are accessible, that is, they are close to public roadways. And the costs of protecting aviation are significant, and the costs have to be balanced against the risks. Efforts to improve aviation security include identification of vulnerabilities and interdependencies between state and local governments, redundant communication methods, or fail-safes. Basically, if one communication method fails, another is put into place. For instance, airports will reroute their air traffic control to another airport if their system would go down. Identifying threats to passengers while respecting privacy. Improving security at key access points. Increasing screening capabilities with new technologies. And improving detection technologies for things such as explosives. Rail transportation. Trains carry more of our freight than any other mode of transportation. This is easily misunderstood by many people because of the number of trucks that you see on the road. But trains still carry most of our freight. The sheer size of the rail sector makes it difficult to secure nationwide. The size of the rail system, however, mitigates terrorist damage as trains can be rerouted. And the shipment of hazardous materials and key rail junctures are the areas of concern. Rail security is such a large task that trade-offs have to be made in regards to costs. To improve security, rail providers have been doing the following: developing improved decision-making for shipping hazardous materials, and developing technologies for screening intermodal freight and passenger baggage. Intermodal freight is simply the container that you see to the right can be put on the back of a train or a truck right off of the boat, right off of the ship. And improved intermodal security. Anytime you see the term intermodal, it means more than one. The container can be used in more than one type of transportation. And clearly delineated roles and responsibilities. Highways. Our national highway system is essential for the movement of goods and services and people in our country. We have a vast interstate system that was built in the 1950s, or started to be built in the 1950s. Trucking and busing are resilient and responsive to market demand, and they are widespread. Key choke point targets where traffic could get backed up need to be identified. And because of the diversity within the sector and its size, coordination is difficult. Initiatives to protect highway infrastructure include facilitating comprehensive risk, threat, and vulnerability assessments, developing guidelines to mitigate choke points, hardening industry infrastructure through technology, and creating national awareness and education programs for security information to give operators nationwide. Pipelines. Yes, pipelines are a transportation system as they transport goods over a distance. The U.S. has a vast pipeline network to transport gas, crude oil, and petroleum products. Detailed safety plans are already in place. Pipelines can be put back into operation after one or more sectors are attacked or damaged. And there are many backup protocols that can be used in the event of a pipeline rupture. There are several 100,000 miles of pipeline. Determining what and where to protect the pipeline is a major challenge. The products that pipelines carry are very volatile, usually fuels that are very explosive. And the pipelines cross local, state, and international jurisdictions, making coordination between agencies very difficult. Pipeline initiatives of the Department of Homeland Security include developing standard reconstruction protocols, developing standard security assessments and threat deterrent guidelines, working with other agencies to develop response plans. Maritime. Anytime you see the word maritime, it is referring to travel on the sea. There are 361 seaports on the coastal U.S., making maritime security a major challenge. This makes the inspection of cargo extremely difficult. The security mission is carried out in multiple jurisdictions and through many agencies. And properly equipping the Coast Guard is part of this mission. So the Coast Guard's involved, local agencies, it's kind of an amalgam of different government groups working on this problem. Mass transit. Mass transit refers primarily to busing and train traffic in and out of metropolitan areas, moving large numbers of people where it would be impossible to have everyone driving their car to work. Mass transit security presents challenges as it is run by a multitude of public and private agencies. And the Department of Homeland Security must work with different agencies throughout the country in order to identify weaknesses and make appropriate plans. Okay, there are assumptions that are made about threats in regards to terrorism. Terrorist soft targets are chosen to cause political, economic, and social disruption. These are targets that are easily accessed. They seek to cause large numbers of civilian deaths and demoralize the public. Rail systems are more vulnerable compared to highways. And targets are often sought for their symbolic nature. And they include things such as bridges and dams. For instance, if somebody blew up the Hoover Dam, that would be a major event. Critical and recognizable assets. Critical assets chosen by terrorists are those that would cause major disruption to transportation. Other critical assets are those with high casualty risks. Some critical assets have a military function. Critical assets may be of national symbolic importance. And critical assets have a high collateral damage potential to other public sectors such as utilities. Okay, that includes our presentation on transportation. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing you in the live lesson. Have a great day.